I'm in Canada here, so our winter is not going to mesh with everybody's. It's December 21st to March 19th. This is the time frame we're looking at. I'm going to start with your first card. It's Trust in Magic. It seems like your Taurus is getting into gear here. I think they're really realizing that the universe is magical. I feel like they're really getting into the flow. Not only they're in the flow, and they're starting to play, and they're starting to get happy, and they're starting to realize that there are mystical, magical things going on, and I can absolutely play with that. And I get a sense of titillation there with these Taurus. They're like, yeah, I can make things happen, and I can do, and maybe even being a little devious at times, but nonetheless intrigued and wanting to move forward with this energy. Manifestations being the base part of it. I think they're having a hard time with the emotionalism of the manifestation, meaning in order to get something you need to let go of it. That baseline they're having a hard time with, but they're realizing in other areas there's influence there, that their influence matters, and they're being tickled by that. So that's a really good energy. That's a really good place to be. So there's a lot of playfulness with these Tauruses, being in a position where they're starting to enjoy things, and the way they're awakening to a lot of these energies coming through. Now, your challenges here, the Ancient Ones, I'm getting a sense that you're kind of wanting to go on your own path, do your own thing, and you really don't care to listen to the rules and regulations. And I feel like this is the thing. There's a little bit of that deviousness coming through in the magic part of things, and I feel like you're not really wanting to stay within the lines here. You're wanting to go out, and I don't care. I'm going to do it because I have the power to. And beware of that, because that'll get you into trouble. I mean, it does come back tenfold as well. Well, threefold, right? But the lesson, the more you do it, the more it will hit you up. So beware of the potential to be on the devious end of things, because you're starting to realize your power and go outward with it. So don't start making a ruckus, because that'll really tidal wave back on you, be swept right out, and you're going to start all over again. And you don't want to do that. You want to carry all that energy that you've learned and you've built. You don't want to crumble all of that. You know, I get the feeling that these Tauruses might be a hard learn, a hard sell here to get them forward. You might have to go way back and get pulled by the undertow, and then just like choking and going, you know, I got to get my breath back. No, don't do that. Don't, you know, your moral code. That's really what I'm talking about here, your moral compass. Don't let that get off center. I'm feeling it more with the male Taurus than the female Taurus. I feel like female kind of has more of a softer edge there. Still, the deviousness is kind of that twinkle in her eye, but I feel she's going to resist it a little more than the masculine will. I feel like the masculine is going to come in and say, you know what, I have the power and I'm going to use it. And I don't care who, and that's the thing. It's in the way of not resentment, but like, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you. You know, you did this to me. I'm gonna get. No. These are things you gotta leave to the universe. You cannot go running off. You know, settling scores. The universe does that on its own, and the more you surrender to that, the easier things will be for you. Because it just, if you go and you make yourself in charge of someone else's destiny, then guess what? Yours gets screwed up along the process. So we don't want to do that, because you're making a good headway here. You're getting in a good flow. You just don't want to. You don't want to F that up, really. You don't. And I'm seeing it. Yeah, a lot of males here are really on the rougher, edgier side of things, and they're going, I don't give it. You know, I'm starting to feel the flow here, and kind of like on the dark side of it. You know, so you just got to beware of that. Got to beware of that, because I mean, you can't let it out without some of it coming back on you. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, listening. So I'm feeling like there's a better part of you, the good and the bad, that's conflictive here. I mean, you're just listening to that devil on that shoulder going, yeah, you know, let's do that. Getting all charged up with that, and you kind of need to tame that down. You need to see the difference here. What's really flooding your reading is embrace spirit. So that's the thing, is discernment, right? Between the good and the bad. There's troublemaking energy, and then there's also instinct of what's right and wrong, your morals, your codes, that kind of thing. So you're best to do that. I feel like you're going to get that energy. You're going to see that. But you have the potential, a lot of these guys have the potential to just make a bad decision anyway, just because it's time, and they figure they're judge, jury, and executioner, and they're going to do it. And because it needs to be done. Well, it needs to be done, but it's done to perfection when the universe does it. And believe it or not, they can do a better job than you can to make these people realize some of the lessons that they need to come across. They do a better job. And if you're lucky, you get to witness it. That's the thing. I think you need to pray for the witness. You need to pray that you see these people go through that. That is the best that you can do. I think really is just, this doesn't, because I think these Taurus males mostly are going, that's enough of this, people getting away with this. I can't handle it no more, Something's got to give, and they're feeling like they got to be that part to come in there and, no, not your turn, not your way, not in this time, not ever, really. That is just not the way that things should work. But nonetheless, I think they're going to be trodden off in that direction. So embracing spirit is just really listening to that instinct. You have it. You're just really going to disregard it. So beware. It's gonna cause upheaval. It's absolutely gonna. So what's crossing away from you is letting go of the old. Feeling like you've been on a good flow for a while, and now it's like this contrast has come in. You're kind of having things come across your plate that's agitating, irritating, and like you say, looking for retribution in that way. So you're going to have to let go of your old ways of dealing with it. You got to let go of that. It's passing away from you, so the energy is able to take it. So don't fight it. Let it go. Let go of that old stuff. And if it's people that are making you angry, then let go of them. Let go of them and get rid of the chaos that's in your way. If that makes you irritated and agitated, just go with that. Clear that out. So I don't think these Taurus, again, picking up a lot on the masculine, I don't think they're picking up on the fact that they have a choice here to let things go, and that they would be free from that. They would be free from all that anger, because it's really coming outward into them, and they're carrying it. They're going, yeah, give me that anger. But meanwhile, if they just let these people go, they really, they would be freed up from a lot just from doing that. And it doesn't have to be like, get out of my face. It's just like, you know what, I don't have to contact you anymore. And it will. It'll just disappear from that. So what you're coming into here for your near future is time to reflect. Another complication here with the Taurus, and again, getting a lot of the masculine energy at this point, because it's more problematic. There's a softer energy to the Taurus women, that they're kind of getting it, making decisions, but maybe not decisions that are going to be so conflictive. These men are going out there and they're conflicting. So they're going to have to take time to reflect on things. See what it is. What is making you angry? Because I don't think you know what it is. And not only that, you're just reacting, and that is just a tool that other people use against you. They know where your button is. You're just like, hey, my button's right here. Not even realizing you're exposing it to the enemies. You really got to look inward and realize where you're exposing your weaknesses to. Because they're really going in areas that aren't great for you to settle down. I mean, and you're just not aware of what you're doing. If you just sit and relax, take the time to think, what is triggering? I think you're knowing you're upset, but you're not knowing really where it started, or where it started to escalate, or what the root was. And that's what you need to do. So you need to take time to reflect. I think you're going to have things happen to you that is going to impose this on you. But, if you're drawn to the reading, maybe you'll do that ahead of time, instead of being in your near future, you can stop and reflect now. go through the process of letting some chaos go, because I feel like there's a lot of chaos around these men, and they need to really introspect. Everybody's needing to introspect that they, to a degree, where's my button? And who's pushing it? And when did they start pushing it? Because you're fed up to here, and you got to figure out where it started, because you don't even know where it started, so you got to figure that out. And then you'll start to deconstruct and go, hey, yeah, well, to a certain degree, you let yourself get carried away. And that's the whole thing, why they want you to reflect. Now, your distant future, reveal your truth, that mask, taking off that mask again. So that may be part of your problem is interiorly, you're conflicted with what's inside to what you're going out with. So you got to be in alignment with that. You got to make sure that what you're saying and what you're feeling are lined up. And I think that these Taurus men, again, women to a certain degree, being a little more passive with it, having to drop that line, because there's a big divide here again between these males and the personality. The women, it's there, but they're subdued with it. They're not chaotic with it. These men are getting angry. Their feelings are angry. These women, they're getting irritated and agitated, and then they reflect a little bit, and it calms it down. So it doesn't escalate to the point that these males are letting it, oh man, they're letting it explode. So that's the whole thing there, is to really get to a point where these men are diffusing it before it gets to the explosion phase. And so in your near future, you're going to have to deal with that. So revealing your truth. I think the Taurans, for the most part, they're truth tellers. They're going to say it like they mean it. And if you don't want to hear it, tough, I'm going to tell you anyway. But there's something within their own spirit, their own thought process, that they're not going outward with, that they can't be proved upon, that is, there's a dichotomy there. That is, it's not matching up. One's going this way, one's going that way. So you have to figure out what that is, and then unlock that and go outward from that. There's some kind of an internal thing going on with the males. Again, feeling very conflicted, hoping some males see this and kind of take a. I think Taurans can be very reasonable when they're not in an explosive phase. I think when they're mellowed right out, grounded right out, which they should be, but I'm feeling an ungrounding here at this phase. When they are doing that and they are grounded, they can be quite reasonable. But they can also be the other end of that when they are, completely, somebody's just pushing a button. They're just pushing it, and you're not even aware of who. I think you're aware of who, but I'm not sure you're aware of why. And you need to figure that out, get those answers, and then look at it with the awareness that this is what they're doing. And then suddenly you see it for what it is, and it doesn't have that power over you anymore. Because you're seeing it. This person's doing it because of this. And yeah, okay, I give it up. And then fronting them and going, yeah. And then them going, oh, wow. And the whole thing just diffusing. So it's a matter of just taking the time to be still and look inward for that. Now, along your path here, you have observant silence. So I feel like this conflict, right? Time to reflect. And after you reflect, you're going to be sitting in the corner going like this and just watching. Is this really, am I really picking up this? This is the angle here? And not only are you going to be proved right, but you're going to be validated. It's going to go through you so many times, you just can't deny the truth. So that's really what's going to happen here, is you're going to go through a phase where you're going to realize the keys here. Somebody had the keys, I didn't even know I gave it to them. And they're going to have it, and they're going to be ching, 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 starting you up. And you just did not have a clue that you were giving them the power to do that. But now you're going to see it, you're going to notice it for what it is, diffuse it, and you're going to sit there and watch it happen 2 or 3 more times, because you can't even believe. You're going to go, I can't even believe this. I can't believe this. This was happening to me, and I didn't see it. So that's a good realization to come from. Now, along the path here is seek the lesson. So past that amazement of, I can't believe that they're doing this, I can't believe this is happening, I can't believe I caught them. And it really just taking that time to reflect on it, to see it all, right? Is really understanding that lesson that they brought to you, that you brought to them, that through both of you, you're figuring out that person on the other end and you on your end. There's a huge lesson here that's been learned, and I feel like a big one. For a long time, you haven't had a lot of maybe realizations in that way, and so I feel like you really have to not only observe and be in awe of, I can't believe this, but realize the lesson. Then go, yeah, I'm not going to let that happen again. Like you're looking in that direction, but make sure that every other direction that someone comes to you with that mirror, ain't going to reflect no more. I mean, that's it. I'm not putting up with any of that anymore. Past the lesson here, we have focus and then act. So beware of that temper. These males, again, I'm picking up. You guys don't start, bar fights the whole bit. Watch your mind frame. Keep away from the substances. And a lot of this is really agitated and irritated by the same people. You got these same people around you, chaos makers, that they come in and they just, let's get them drunk, let's get them, and get them all stirred up. It's like they get a kick out of getting you riled up. So you need to just, back away from that energy. Make sure you have a clear head before you start spouting off about all this stuff that you got inside you. And not only that, make sure it's lined up with your belief system in that way. I feel like there's a lot of chaos for these males coming through. So focus and then act. So make sure you got a clear head, because there's really a huge ability there for fights and things that are unrepairable. Really, things that you're going to be stomping your feet going, that is it. But it can be solved in a way if you just focus and then act. You don't let them get you wiry. Don't let them get you off kinker, because that's what I'm feeling is there's these little troublemakers running around this guy and just getting them all fired up, and then he just blows, and then they're all like, taking off, and it's like, no, man, it's a lesson for you to try and learn to control this, the anger, the temper, whatever, right? And realize who's building it for you, who's building those blocks of anger for you. You have to take responsibility of it for yourself, but within that, you have to be aware of what triggers, because then you can stay away from that. And that's the whole point here. That's really the lesson, is those ones that are creating it, you kind of have to stay away. The end result, see your answers within, seek your answers within. So yeah, a lot of introspection, I think, is going to feel a little unnerving. Like, not unnerving as much as unsecure. You're not going to feel secure in answering your own questions from the inside. But I feel like if you give it that time, you observe, you drop the mask, and you reflect, I think you are going to see it more clearly than most people outside of you even will. So you just really kind of have to go along that path and go inward. Learn to reflect inward and trust the inward signals that you're getting. For the feminines, I feel like it's, the masculines is like this cycle up and down. There's chaos and angry words and a lot of fiery tempers. The women, a lot of sideways looks, and they're a little more subdued within that range. The women are kind of, they're figuring it out, and they're trying to get their wave here. Nonetheless, prone, I'm getting a little bit of troublemaking there as well, in their own little circles, the feminines. So you're going to watch that. Just watch that, because that's going to screw up your perspective of what's right and wrong. Because if you start stirring up stuff along the way, you're not going to see things clearly. You cannot, get rewards in it from a clear channel if you're stirring up shit. So for the feminine Taurus, because I've been talking about the masculine so much, they need to really keep an eye on the prize. Where are they going? What are they headed to? And not get distracted by little petty things along the way. Because I feel like they've been doing good for the longest time, the feminines, and I think they've been going in that direction and not letting, seeing it, being aware of it, and feeling from it, but not letting it get in the way. And now I feel like they're going to start reacting again. They weren't, coming outward and, getting involved. Now I feel like there's an ability there to get back involved, and that's really not a good thing to do. Now, for overall animal help here, we get the boar. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. And that is something that the Taurans, I think, have a hard time doing. I don't feel like it's a self-confidence issue as much as what am I going to get in retaliation if I say this, or if I stand up for that. What are they going to do to me, and being in fear of that. So facing problems head on, that just eliminates the need for stress. It eliminates the need for looking around how people are looking at you. Yeah, courage. Needing courage. And not a lot of courage. I think they just gotta maybe have had in the past a lot of situations that have come at them that have given them negative results. So therefore they shy away from it. And the way the universe is working now, hopefully going to support you when you do come forth, and then give you a situation where you're rewarded by a good outcome. And I feel like that's what the universe is just waiting for you to do, is just waiting for you to get that confidence, because they're going to give you a good outcome from it. The feminines, the masculines as well. I think they just got to dig a lot deeper for their roots, to bring the roots up. They're a lot more fired up, and they got to go deeper down to get, a little bit of not speaking their own truths in that way, prevent it, from creating problems for you. And the way you do that is don't create problems for other people. That's an option, right? So you don't need to go there. Just do your own thing, focus on what you want, and go in that direction, and then you'll make progress. And have the courage and confidence to speak your mind, and don't worry about backlash. You're going to get it, you're not going to get it. But at least you'll know the answer. You stood in your courage and you said what you thought. And that's really what the universe is wanting these feminine Taurans to do, is to come out and stand in their power. It's like they're sitting on this stuff and they're not talking either. So maybe a few of you've been losing your voice, because when you don't talk your truth, they take your voice. It's like that can be taken away. You need to speak from that. You need to come outward with that, and courage and positivity that, it's going to be received. Don't think badly of it. Think it's going to be received well. And not only that, we're going to make progress here. And that's the way you got to look at it. And that's the way to manifest. But in their right mind right now, they are in magic. They are seeing the abilities that they have. So it's just a matter of keeping it in check and under reign of between the good and the bad. Because there's ability here, like I said, more on the masculine side than the feminine, but of going in the wrong way with this. Kind of like the black magic side of things. You don't want to go there. These people will get theirs. You just have to have faith in that. And there's just, these Taurus have been headlong into things. They just don't have faith that the process will work. And not only that, they have the patience, but not at this point. I'm feeling like, I didn't feel a lot of this frustration, but it's almost like over the fall here, there's a little bit coming to the surface. Is just losing their patience with things. So be aware of that. So for Taurus, hope you have a good winter. Don't get into too many fights, arguments, or chaos. Stay away from that. That would be a good thing. And speak up in confidence, and you hopefully will get rewarded for that in your path here. So take care and be kind.